The 2020 NFL Draft was loaded with quarterback talent. We saw 4 of them drafted in the first round, and 1 more in the second. There was a lot of buzz at the time, and even some controversy.
Oh shit, we traded up! We traded up! Yeah, we traded to the Packers. We got it, Goodell. Shut the hell up and let's go.
With the 26th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft.
Yes.
The Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
Are you me?
Now, over the last 4+ seasons, we have seen this class reach the biggest of stages, and also the toughest of circumstances.
If you woke up every morning and I told you you sucked at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, regardless of what it is, the good or the bad, and you hear it more and more, you start to actually believe that.
But overall, this class has proven itself to be one of the most impressive we've seen in recent memory. In fact, you could make a case that they are the best class since 2004. Now, with that in mind, let's take a closer look at each of their journeys from college to the present, examining how each of these 5 players has measured up against the expectations they faced upon entering the league. Now, before we continue, this video is brought to you by Mando. So personally, I practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and nothing is worse than working with a guy who smells bad. And I don't want to be that guy. But sometimes you're stuck at a desk all day and don't have a chance to get home and shower before class. Luckily, that's where Mando has been clutch for me. Mando is a high-performance, whole-body deodorant that you can put everywhere, such as pits, packages, and feet. Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's Grundle score is a 5 out of 10. And with Mando, it's an average of 0 out of 10. So I got sent their starter pack, which comes with a solid stick deodorant, and then a cream tube deodorant or a spray deodorant. I personally got the cream tube. And it also comes with 2 free products of your choice. I chose the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes. You also get to choose from 4 different scents, which are all unique. They have bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. And they also have unscented. Personally, the Mount Fuji is my favorite. It smells fresh, but is more subtle and not too overwhelming. Also, another bonus is Mando doesn't stain your clothes. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with that solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant or spray deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, plus free shipping. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code KTO and click the link in the description. The dramatic improvement in Joe Burrow's game at LSU from 2018 to 2019 is nothing short of insane. Burrow threw for 60 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, leading the Tigers to a national championship and setting multiple NCAA records. Swagger. He possessed a well-rounded skill set, including accuracy, decision-making, and mobility. He drew comparisons to Kurt Warner and Tony Romo.
Tony Romo had great escapability. He was great in second play opportunities, which we've seen Joe Burrow do. And he was a guy who was fearless in pushing the ball down the field. And that's exactly what I see with Joe Burrow.
Now, there were questions surrounding his arm strength and experience, but these didn't deter anyone from thinking that he should be the #1 pick.
He had a 4th, 5th round grade on him, kind of a nice game manager backup type. Right. And now I think he's the best quarterback in this draft.
And Cincinnati didn't hesitate when they were on the clock. At the time, the Bengals were coming off a disastrous first season under Zach Taylor, which pretty much put a cap on the Andy Dalton era and forced the franchise to hit the reset button. Entering the 2020 season, Burrow quickly became the starter and showcased his potential as a franchise quarterback.
Escapes a couple of times, here they come again. Burrow still on his feet.
He played in 10 games where he showed poise in the pocket and strong decision-making, but suffered a serious knee injury in Week 11, ending his rookie season early. The following year, Burrow made the anticipated return from his injury, with the Bengals strategically pairing him with his former college teammate and 2021 first-round pick, Jamar Chase. While this partnership promised an exciting chemistry on the field, critics highlighted the Bengals' precarious offensive line situation.
You don't have the option now of not playing Joe Burrow just because now you're worried about the offensive line.
arguing that prioritizing an offensive lineman in the draft to better protect their young quarterback would have been a more prudent choice. Well, in some sense, those critics were right. Burrow was sacked more than any other quarterback in 2021. But despite this, Burrow led the league in completion percentage, yards per pass attempt, and threw 34 touchdowns, 13 of which went to Jamar Chase.
Got an open target. It's Chase at the 40. Look at that move. Look at Chase go!
Which helped the rookie wideout secure Offensive Rookie of the Year. Overall, Burrow orchestrated a remarkable turnaround, leading the Bengals to an unexpected playoff appearance. However, this was merely the beginning. Upon reaching the postseason, they embarked on a stunning 3-game journey, culminating in a breathtaking victory in Kansas City that left the NFL world in awe.
And Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl!
This triumph catapulted the Bengals to the Super Bowl for the first time in 33 years, marking a historic achievement for the franchise. Unfortunately, their Cinderella story came to an end when they ultimately lost to the LA Rams in the final minutes.
Do not even have to think about it.
Pointing to the ring finger.
As 2022 unfolded, the landscape of expectation transformed dramatically. Burrow was now considered an elite quarterback, and the Bengals were expected to contend once again for another Super Bowl appearance. With one impressive season under his belt, Burrow built upon this momentum,
4 seconds left. Burrow dials it up. Touchdown!
achieving Pro Bowl honors. The Bengals went on to win the AFC North.
Retreating, puts it up for grabs, and it is deflected, and Crochet almost had it. He couldn't bring it in.
In yet another challenging playoff journey, Burrow led his team to victory over the Baltimore Ravens and then a dominant win on the road against the Buffalo Bills, propelling them to another AFC Championship appearance. Once again, they confronted the formidable Kansas City Chiefs in their quest to return to the Super Bowl. However, despite their determined efforts, a crucial moment unfolded late in a tie game when Bengals linebacker Joseph Asai hit Patrick Mahomes late as he was running out of bounds. This costly penalty added 15 yards, ultimately setting up the game-winning field goal, which sailed through the uprights. The following season, with high expectations once again, Burrow signed a 5-year, $275 million contract extension just 3 days before the season opener.
He will make $219.1 million in guaranteed, which is easily the most in franchise history.
However, the 2023 season proved to be a frustrating step back. Burrow grappled with a calf injury sustained during training camp, which hindered his early performance. After a rocky 5-5 start, his season came to an abrupt halt when he suffered a torn ligament in his wrist against the Ravens.
Now he's missing games. It's like, they've had a great run. This year was supposed to be awesome. This is obviously going to change everything. But damn, AJ, this sucks for the football community as a whole.
This had marked the second time in 4 years that Burrow faced a season-ending injury, raising concerns about his long-term reliability. Despite this, there is no denying that, when healthy, Burrow stands as a legitimate top 5-ish starting quarterback in the NFL. Overall, as of today, Burrow's career has been marked by rapid growth, resilience, and significant achievements, including a Super Bowl appearance. At the time of making this video, the Bengals are off to a rough start, but they are accustomed to this over the years. As long as Burrow stays healthy, they should bounce back. Tua Tagovailoa entered the NFL with high expectations following a standout college career at Alabama. Analysts praised his pinpoint accuracy, quick release, and football IQ, often highlighting his ability to perform in high-pressure situations like we saw his freshman year in the national title. However, concerns about his durability due to previous injuries were also a significant part of the conversation.
Do you want to trade up to get a quarterback who's iffy with the injury? Then the durability concern. I'm talking about, does Miami want to go from 5 to 3?
He also was undersized for a typical first-round quarterback, standing at around 6 feet tall. But despite these concerns, many believed Tua had the potential to be a franchise quarterback.
Tua is so good that if his medical comes back and very promising, he's not getting past 2. Like, he will not last past the second pick.
Drawing comparisons to Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, and fellow left-hander Mark Brunell.
He's the next Drew Brees. His ability to read things so quickly, and they're playing in that West Coast offense, and he's always been a footwork guy. I'll take Drew Brees all day in that style.
When the Dolphins selected Tua, They were coming off a season where they had been embarrassed through 7 games. And then Brian Flores salvaged what he could, leading the team to 5 wins with Ryan Fitzpatrick. During Tua's rookie season, he started as the backup to Fitzpatrick, but became the starter after 6 games.
They're saying, hell, we want to go with it now, so Tua must be showing something. Let's see what he's got.
From there, he flashed his potential, earning Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Week honors in back-to-back weeks, and the Dolphins won 10 games for the first time in 8 years. But they missed the playoffs.
Moving up, out of debris, there he goes, and he's got room to roam, and he hits the deck.
Tua entered year 2 as the starter, but the season was marked by inconsistency and injury issues. Tua played in 13 games, where he showed improvement, particularly in his accuracy, and helped the team go on a 7-game win streak.
There's a block and going deep, and he's looking for Waddle. He got him!
But ultimately, they missed the playoffs again. At this point, even with the successes, the jury was still out on Tua. There had been rumors that the Dolphins were looking to replace him throughout the season by trading for Deshaun Watson.
Here you are 1 year into your career, and suddenly your team is in the midst of all of these trade rumors involving another quarterback. What is your reaction to some of the conversation?
You know, I'm the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, and really I'm just looking forward to being the best version of myself and helping our team win games next year.
Ultimately, that never happened. Then, the shocking move was made to fire Brian Flores.
After 3 years, turning things around, he took over for Adam Gase. Do I need to say it again?
Shortly after his firing, Flores filed a lawsuit against the NFL and several teams, alleging racial discrimination in hiring practices. He claimed that the Dolphins ownership offered him $100,000 for each loss in 2019 to secure a better draft position. But at the same time, the relationship between Flores and Tua was dicey. The two haven't spoken since the coach was fired, and Tua even said that Flores was a terrible person. In 2022, under new head coach Mike McDaniel, Tua enjoyed a breakout season, demonstrating his ability to lead the Dolphins effectively in the new system.
Over the middle, got his man, and look at him go! Jalen Waddle for the touchdown!
His second game that year was an MVP-level performance. After trailing 35-14 to the Ravens, Tua orchestrated a comeback victory, throwing for over 460 yards and scored 7 total touchdowns.
There he goes, Oweh chasing touchdown Craycraft!
At the end of the season, Tua was named a Pro Bowler, and the Dolphins reached the playoffs, highlighting his growth and the team's offensive potential. But one thing overshadowed all of this: his concussions. In Week 3, Tua suffered what was initially reported as a back injury after a hard hit. He briefly left the game, but returned to play, which, after seeing this, it makes you raise your eyebrows. 2 games later, we saw Tua's fencing response to hitting his head.
How in God's name do you see what you saw in Miami against Buffalo? You're perfectly okay with Tua coming out there in the second half, and then you got him on the field in less than 5 days for another NFL game.
Then, later in the season, he suffered a season-ending concussion versus the Packers. Watching them live was pretty horrible to witness. It made people wonder if Tua was going to retire. Ultimately, Tua chose not to retire, embarking on the 2023 season with lofty expectations, as the Dolphins sought to make a deep playoff run. Like 2022, Tua continued to flourish in this fast-paced offense, leading the league in passing yards. His remarkable performance earned him his first Pro Bowl selection, as he started every game and guided the Dolphins to an impressive 11-win season. A defining highlight of this campaign was the stunning 70-point offensive explosion against the Denver Broncos. But unfortunately, when it mattered most, Tua and the Dolphins faltered in the late stages of the season. They suffered a decisive defeat at the hands of the Ravens.
Floated up, hold in!
The Dolphins then relinquished their opportunity to host a playoff game after losing to the Bills in the regular season finale. Tua's performance fell short of expectations. Finally, in the wildcard round against the Chiefs, Tua struggled to find his rhythm, leading to a crushing defeat that marked a disheartening end to their playoff aspirations. As of today, Tua's career has been marked by significant development, resilience in the face of adversity, and flashes of brilliance. However, a persistent narrative continues to shadow Tua's journey,
when you come from South Florida, in the Florida area, and you go to cold places, something just, I don't know what it is. It does not travel well.
Critics point to his smaller stature, lack of a big-time arm, injury-prone history, and question his ability to perform at an elite level in crucial moments.
You'd have to think to yourself, how can our guy outplay those guys who are all paid a shitload of money and can all excel in cold weather?
While he likely ranks somewhere between the 10th and 20th best quarterbacks in the NFL, concerns about his long-term viability have been exacerbated by yet another concussion in 2024, which leaves football fans deeply worried about his long-term health.
If you tear ACL, you can strip that thing back up to be a little bit stronger. When you're talking about your head, you only get one brain, you only get one head.
Prior to the draft, Justin Herbert was often highlighted for his impressive physical attributes, including his strong arm and size, standing at 6'6".
I played dodgeball with the guy. Every pass he threw was a headshot.
Analysts praised his ability to make all the throws and his potential as a franchise quarterback. However, some critics focused on his inconsistency and decision-making.
I never see a quarterback who's really carrying that football team like Tua has carried Alabama. I just don't see that, and I think that's the big concern.
He often struggled with accuracy under pressure, but many scouts also believed that he could develop into a successful NFL quarterback with the right coaching. Entering the draft, he compared to Carson Wentz. And I'm talking about 2017 Carson Wentz. During his rookie season, Herbert started the year as the backup, but made an unexpected debut in week 2, after Tyrod Taylor was injured just before the game. Herbert impressed immediately with his poise, arm strength, and accuracy.
Herbert's gonna take it in for the touchdown. Welcome to the NFL.
Justin Herbert incredibly impressed me. 311 yards when you didn't find out you were starting until minutes before the game.
By the end of the season, he had been the most impressive rookie in the NFL, setting several rookie records, including the most passing touchdowns and most completions in a season.
The sideline, he's gonna snap. There he goes. See you later.
He was named the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, as the Chargers finished the season 7-9. The following year, Herbert continued to develop, showing even greater command of the offense and improved his decision-making.
He's got time.
He threw for over 5,000 yards and 38 touchdowns, demonstrating his capability to lead a high-powered offensive attack.
You can tell his team trusts him. This is becoming one of these teams that goes for it in 4th and 4 all the time.
Herbert was selected to his first Pro Bowl, as the Chargers finished with a 9-8 record, just narrowly missing the playoffs after a dramatic overtime loss against the Raiders.
Deep down the sideline, and Williams cannot hold it in.
In 2022, Herbert's numbers dipped a bit, but he maintained his high level of play, solidifying his status as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Herbert did play through some injuries, showcasing his toughness and ability to perform under adverse conditions.
Can he keep it alive? Fires it, caught inside the 10-yard line.
The Chargers made the playoffs with a 10-7 record, but despite building a 27-0 lead on the Jags in the wild card, they lost that game.
For the win.
In 2023, Herbert continued to put up impressive numbers. Overall, Justin Herbert's career has been characterized by rapid development, consistent excellence, and impressive individual accomplishments. The biggest issue has been the performance around him. The Chargers' defense has been consistently mediocre, and the offense has lacked much of a rushing attack. However, 2024 shows major promise in those areas. Their defense looks dramatically improved under Jim Harbaugh, as well as the focus of establishing the run. It'll be interesting to see what this new-look Chargers team is like come playoff time. The Packers shocked the NFL world when they made the choice to select quarterback Jordan Love with the 26th overall pick.
Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
The Packers had done to Aaron Rodgers what they had done to Brett Favre.
Javon Walker, last receiver the Packers took.
Good
God.
In college, Jordan Love exhibited a potent combination of a strong arm and dynamic playmaking ability. In 2018, he passed for over 3,400 yards, 32 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. which garnered significant attention from NFL scouts.
He's a guy that makes a lot of high-level NFL-type throws and can throw it with ease. People in his face, sidearm 30-yard laser down the right sideline, back shoulder, bam, on the money.
His combination of athleticism and a big arm drew comparisons to Blake Bortles and Jake Locker. Now, while those sound like bad players to compare to, I'll make the point here that it's not necessarily the players those guys became, as much as it is the traits that they possessed entering the NFL. In Green Bay, Love served primarily as the backup for 2 seasons. We rarely saw him on the field during this time, but after the Packers decided to trade Rodgers, it was officially the Jordan Love era in Green Bay. Through his first 9 games in 2023, Love had looked rough, and the team had struggled, possessing a 3-6 record.
There are several signs Jordan Love is little more than a backup.
But then, Jordan Love began to put on a clinic. He looked like a top 10 quarterback over the final 8 games, where he threw 18 touchdowns to just 1 interception. The team went 6-2 down the stretch, snuck into the postseason, and then best of all, Love and the Packers put on a shocking performance as they dominated the Cowboys.
The fake. Love zips it in there. It's caught for the touchdown.
The following week, they had the Niners on the ropes.
Throwing. Oh, and he's got a completion to Dobbs.
But fell short in the end.
Across his body, and that is picked.
Overall, this was one of the best stories in the NFL. Love went from questionable starter to a solid top 10-ish type of quarterback.
I have never seen in my life an in-season improvement of a quarterback ever like Jordan Love.
In July 2024, Love signed a new $220 million 4-year extension with the Packers. At an average of $55 million a year, this tied him for the highest average annual value at the time of his signing. As of right now, Love is still the most unknown of the 2020 quarterbacks, just because we've only seen him start 1 full season. But there is a lot of reason to believe that he will be a solid player moving forward. Jalen Hurts was viewed as a highly talented quarterback with significant upside, particularly due to his athletic ability and leadership. While there were concerns about his passing consistency and decision-making,
he had problems throwing the football. Right. I mean, he got benched in a national championship game because they couldn't throw it.
Which did drop him out of the first round. Many still believed that with the right coaching and development, he could evolve into a starting quarterback capable of making a substantial impact in the NFL. His pro comp was Tim Tebow, which really shows you the lack of trust as a passer many pro scouts had for Hurts. His arrival in Philly was met with a blend of anticipation and skepticism, as it coincided with a pivotal period of transition for the franchise. In 2020, Hurts served as the backup to Carson Wentz, who faced significant challenges throughout the season, ultimately leading to his benching. This presented Hurts with the opportunity to start 4 games, during which he displayed considerable promise. In just his second start, he dazzled by accumulating 400 total yards and accounting for 4 touchdowns. But in these 4 games, it was clear that he was pretty raw as a passer. The following season, the Eagles moved on from Wentz.
Skip, this had to happen.
Which meant that Hurts ascended to the starting quarterback position full-time. And while he made progress as a passer, he still ranked near the bottom of the league in completion percentage and quarterback rating. However, his ability as a runner is really what made him effective.
He's in! The Eagles take the lead!
He rushed for 784 yards and 10 touchdowns, proving to be one of the more useful red zone quarterbacks in the NFL. Despite a pretty solid 8-7 record as the team starter, the Eagles fell short of the playoffs. In 2022, Hurts elevated his game to new heights. His passing ability had dramatically improved. His numbers went up across the board.
When it's time to play, he's going to give them everything he has got. Right. He is as physically and mentally tough as anybody on that roster, and that is a loaded roster right now.
What really stood out about his improvement was how much more efficient in the passing game he was with the addition of A.J. Brown, who looked like one of the best receivers in football alongside Devontae Smith, who was also a standout playmaker.
Lofts it for Smith! It's a touchdown!
Overall, Hurts finished as the runner-up for MVP, showcasing one of the prettiest deep balls in the game, and the unstoppable tush push.
Those third quarter numbers. Hurts. Touchdown!
the Eagles rolled their way to a 14-3 record. From there, the Hurts-led Eagles blew out the Giants in the divisional round, and then basically got a free win versus the quarterbackless Niners team in the NFC Championship, which meant that they had reached the Super Bowl.
The Eagles really are that team.
They are that team. You know, listen, there's a part of me that sits here and I'm scared they're just going to be able to play games like this all along. I don't, again, I think they're really damn good.
In a dazzling performance, Hurts threw for 304 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. But unfortunately, they lost in the final minutes to the Chiefs.
Going to throw it as far as his arm can take it, which is well short.
Entering 2023, Hurts further cemented his reputation as a dynamic and effective quarterback. At one point, the Eagles under his leadership were 10-1.
It is caught! Oh, what a play!
However, things turned sour, and they lost 5 of 6 and limped their way through an ugly wildcard loss to the Bucs. By the end, Hurts, who was clearly playing hurt, was a shell of himself. As of today, Jalen Hurts' career is a testament to resilience, growth, and an unwavering pursuit of excellence.
I'm sitting back in practice. He was making the ones look like they were like practice squad players. He took, ownership in the huddle. He was calling out the plays, and it was just he was laid back. It was like the game wasn't too big for him.
Back in April 2023, Hurts signed a 5-year contract extension for $255 million. Now, many of his critics will point to his declining play as of recently, and some will rank him in the bottom half of current starting quarterbacks. But throughout his career, Hurts has exceeded most expectations, and, along with the 4 other quarterbacks from this class that I mentioned, has created generational wealth for him and his family. Also, there's no doubt that when Hurts is fully healthy, his deep ball, combined with his ability to run, is a problem for defenses.
Around the edge and bends it back down.